Hello and welcome to the tutorial for how to install the Wise Attendance app. Before we begin this tutorial, here's some helpful information about this app. This app cannot be found on a regular app store. Instead, you access it through a browser and then you add it to your device's home screen. The technical term for these kinds of apps are called progressive web apps. The Wise Attendance app is configured to allow a teacher to sync data when they are on internet connection, whether it be Wi-Fi or cell services. This means a teacher can configure when they want to sync data to Wise. They can access their classes offline, and then when they're back on Wi-Fi connection, they can sync. And that's one of the core features of this Wise Attendance app, to support those teachers around the world who don't have constant access to the internet. Now let's go back to the tutorial. First, you will want to use your device's browser to open the Wise Attendance link. So if you're using an Apple product, use Safari, or using an Android product, use Chrome. In this demo, I'll be using an iPhone and walk you through the steps that way. But it should be pretty similar when using an Android device. What you'll do is you'll click on the link and follow the instructions to sign in using your church account credentials. After you are signed in, you will be presented to this page. This is the Wise Attendance app on the browser. What we want to do is install it onto our device. For easy instructions, you can click on the banner at the bottom of the screen to show you step-by-step of how to install this app onto your device. As you can see here on an Apple product, you will find the share icon and then find the Add to Home Screen icon. I'll demonstrate now. You can then title this app and then add it to your home screen. And there we go. This is the icon for the Wise Attendance app. Now you can click on this icon at any time to access the app. When you first open the app, you'll be prompted to set up a local sign-in method. This can be either a passkey or an app PIN. I will set up a passkey. After setting up a passkey, you'll be prompted to sync data with the internet. A quick note about syncing data. Syncing data happens when you want it to. On the app, you'll be prompted to sync data every time you log in or when you want to sync after editing data. For me right now, I will say OK to sync so I can connect with Wise and access my classes. Now that I have synced my data, I now have access to my classes. I have two classes. In order to access a class, you can click on a class session date. In August, you can see that there are white boxes in this calendar. That means there is a class session those days. If you have multiple classes in one day, you can see those when you click on one of those dates. For example, if I click on the 4th, I can see 2 of my classes. But if I click on the 12th, I only see 1 of my classes. Going back to the 4th, I can see 2 of my classes, and I can click one of them to mark attendance. This is the attendance in this class. It's very similar to how you mark attendance on the browser on your computer. You can click this drop-down to select the type of attendance you want to mark a student. For me, I'll click present and make some changes. After I made some changes, you'll see that the Save button is now clickable. You can click the Save button to save the changes locally to your device. But this is not synced with Wise. In order to sync with Wise, you need to press the Sync button at the top here. A pop-up will ask you if you want to sync. Press OK. Then that will successfully sync this data to Wise. And that's how you mark attendance in a class. Other things we can do in this app is access our account. At the top right, you can click on your profile. And you can go to Settings. In this app, you can change your language to read this app in. You can also access the passkey you've set up for this app. You can also access the app PIN that you've set up for this app. Additionally, inside of Sync Settings, you can see how you'd like to configure your syncing ability. Here, you can automatically sync class attendance data when you log into the app. You can also configure if you want a warning to come up before you sync. And lastly, you can manually sync at any time by using the button at the very bottom. And that's the Wise Attendance app. Thank you for watching this tutorial.